below, so please let me know. And then finally, I am taking these characters into consideration overall, and having had them or having them at tier 2 maxed out, what they are capable of doing, and how much they're going to need assistance to do even basic things like low-level Shadowlands stages. I think that's one of the easiest things for any character to do. Just go in and solo stage 1 of Shadowlands, and you'll find that a lot of the characters on this list cannot do so without an extreme build, without additional pieces helping them, leaderships, support characters, switching, stuff like that. So at the top of the list, because I guess that's where we should start, and that's where we usually start with the normal list, with Jean Grey and Quicksilver at the top of the meta. I think Hogan and Fandral are pretty well put at the bottom of the list, unlike Volstagg, because they just don't have anything going for them. Both of their tier 2 passives are very, very poor. Hogan's only activates a 50% chance when he's attacking for 20 seconds, or for 10 seconds, then you have to wait another 10 seconds. So his tier 2 passive is basically active 25% of the time that he's being a tier 2 character, which is pretty embarrassing. Despite the fact that he does summon the other characters, he doesn't have any other way of protecting himself, no iframes. He does have some crowd control effects, but it really hurts to try to beat Hogan in any situation whatsoever, besides as a leadership. Similarly for Fandral, as a speed character, he has super low stats, so the fact that he's summoning anything, even with 125% of his stats, is already at a huge disadvantage to him. And it's funny because even Netmarble realizes that Fandral is bad. In his character usage tips, they tell you he's a speed character, and he can use Fandral's formation to an advantage to summon Volstagg and Hogan, who are combat types. So even the developers of this game acknowledge that Fandral has a tough road ahead of him. While he might seem like a good character, and he might seem like someone who you want to build up because of the passive and because of the 30% guaranteed dodge, he really doesn't have any way of protecting himself, and even at tier 2, he's going to struggle mightily to deal enough damage to guard break enemies and to even do Shadowlands stages. Hawkeye may not be the third worst character in the game, but I'm definitely putting him here as a point of contention. He is an Avenger. He deserves so much better than he's getting, and it's sad that we have to hold on for the hope that with Infinity Ward he'll finally get a uniform, despite having a plethora of looks in the comics already to finally boost his damage, boost his survivability, and do him the justice that his other Avengers, brothers and sisters like Captain America, Thor, Hulk, etc. have all already gotten. Kingpin, a forgotten character of this game, he relies solely on his summons, and even with 500% of his stats, his summons would still die in the blink of an eye. They're just not doing enough, cannot compete and compare to the damage output being held up by characters in the game nowadays. And his tier 2 passive literally is all about his summons, so there's just nothing to this character. He's a one-trick pony, and his trick has long since expired. Speaking of characters who have expired, Deathlock. Although his tier 2 passive seems pretty impressive, guard hit, increased skill damage, his tier 2 passive was announced, it was introduced to the game with a patch, and I never saw a Deathlock after that, and I haven't seen a Deathlock in months. I don't know who has tier 2 Deathlock, I don't know why, but I just don't hear a peep from anyone, so my guess is, even with a uniform, it's pretty rough out there for Deathlock fans. Jessica Jones does have a leadership, and I have seen sparks, kind of glimpses of her ability to chain attacks in Shadowland, but it's really difficult to stop her from dying. Even with 100% immunity to mind damage, she dies in a few seconds. She's nothing like Luke Cage, her counterpart. Gorgon, Giant Man, and Moon Girl all kind of suffer from similar things. Very low damage, and then they have very low survivability on top of that. Even though Gorgon has iframes with his skills, and he has decreased damage received, even though Giant Man has immunity on his 5th skill and decreased damage received, even though Moon Girl has iframes and Devil Dinosaur, and she has her tier 2 passive, it's still just not enough. These characters die in the blink of an eye. For Agent 13 and Black Cat, I think the problem more so lies in their damage. Although they can survive, they just deal out really sad damage. Even with her tier 2 passive, she's one of the lowest DPS characters in the game. It's just really, really sad. And Black Cat, I've discussed before why her tier 2 passive is one of the worst in the game. Yeah, 20-second cooldown for a 10-second effect. So again, her 60% of the time, you get 50% of her tier 2. Congratulations. You are a very difficult character to get anything done with. Up next on the list, we got Drax, and Drax kind of gets flown under the radar. He is definitely the long-lost Guardians of the Galaxy member, although he has a cute tier 2 passive with Revenge because it can give him immunity. With Cry for Blood, it's on a 12-second cooldown. So that means every 6 seconds you get 3 seconds. So you're immune half the time, but Drax doesn't do any damage, so it doesn't matter. Red Skull, he's all about the summons, but either as a blast character or as a speed character, his summons die in an instant, and he's got nothing else in his kit to make him worthwhile. His tier 2 passive looks promising with the damage dealt and decreased damage received, but just not enough to make him a worthwhile character. Wong, on the other hand, despite the fact that he has a pretty impressive Master of Karataj tier 2 passive, 40% crit damage, 30% crit rate, he is nothing like someone who has a very similar tier 2 passive in Ulysses Claw. Wong doesn't do any damage. It's just really sad. His damage is super low, no iframes, 1 defensive